because, like I said, there is a lot of potential on this team. It's just for one reason or another, they don't always convert.
So I want to point something out, by the way. We're seeing Enigma play for Liquid instead of ID. Is this a recent roster change, or is ID just unable to play today? Or am I just dumb?
I have heard some things about, you know, potential in Liquid, but I am not actually sure about this specific thing about playing today.
Like, that
it might be a case where they are trying him out. I mean, you never know. I will note for those who are curious, that is the same Enigma from NRG, and of course, he still very much wants to continue in competition after NRG is doing their gigantic roster shuffle, so this could be a good opportunity for Enigma. Of course, I definitely want to know what's going on with ID and where Liquid stands on that, but definitely curious to see how Enigma meshes with this team.
Yeah, a strong Tracer player as well, and Zarya player if he needs to go to those heroes, and I feel like Tracer Soldier could still be pretty deadly if they want to go that route, but nonetheless, it frees up AZK to maybe play something a little bit more DPS heavy, as we're going to see him on the Soldier.
And AZK, definitely Moore's comfort pick going onto Soldier. He's always been favoring hitscan in general. I don't know if he's had the greatest results for it, but I feel like Soldier is definitely one of his better heroes, even compared to, say, as McCree. So we'll see how this works out for Liquid. Either way, first fight is underway right now. Neither team really committing too hard here just yet. You see Vol going a little bit too far up, gets punished for it, and now Liquid, their patience is fully rewarded. They're able to back out. They get the 2 pickoffs that they're looking for, and now they can push it back in. And there's absolutely nothing on AZK up until the point that hook comes in. So Jake actually pulling Hammer out of the fire here and giving him a real shot of potentially turning this fight.
Yeah, as Slasher pointed out, Jake's been performing pretty damn well on Roadhog there. He got a hook onto Mezzer to get the kill. Then he got a second one there on the AZK, but I have to wonder, I didn't know Reinhardt had room for giant balls that Super has in that set of armor, because this man, like, he walks straight to the best pick in North America and just swings at him and then charges towards him later on. Like, how do you do that? What's the mindset you have inside your head to just be that aggressive and get away with it too?
The mindset is, it's, you know, the trust exercise where you fall back and your buddy's supposed to catch you, and then your buddy's a jerk and he lets you fall and terrible things happen. Well, they're having that system right now with Reinhardt, except he believes in his team to actually support him, and if you're Reinhardt that is the trust of your team, you can run in and not die when you go in like that. That's great, and point proven there. Super goes in, immediately crunches Mezar. First pick off here for Hammers, and they are just deep diving Liquid right now, stopping them from really making a good effort on this point.
Hammer's taking advantage of the lack of the Zarya on the side of Team Liquid. You need that Zarya to prevent your Reinhardt from instantly getting bursted down with the charge about a grenade that's going to come in thereafter. They need protection for him, and now they're going to struggle to get out of this choke, because look where Super is. He's off to their side. He's got a Earth Shatter ready to go. If they come out not looking at him, which they will, lucky for them, will be able to do. But they still have that threat of Jake on the other side with Roadhog's going to look for a hook. He catches ACK!
Oh my goodness, he got through the charge! Super deep dives in through the whole hog, now looking for the Earth Shatter. And Liquid, this fight is still not going very well for them. Mezar is down. Super getting healed up by his team was very low, and yet continues to survive as Vol gets the cleanup. So Hammers playing out of their minds right now, Jason. And going back to mentioning here in terms of Reinhardt play, Super is going to have another Earth, well, he never used it, but he has the Earth Shatter up again, and will Liquid check that corner one more time?
I'm assuming they have to. Like, they sure as hell should be able to. Like, he's actually gonna back away in the meantime, but then you punish Jake, I feel like. You speed boost into him and you kill him because the positioning, how aggressive he's been playing. But smartly enough, he backs away immediately. Team Liquid are going on a marathon run around the entire point here as now Train's just following suit behind them. And Rob off to the side, is he ever gonna be pressured?
We're doing the boost coming out here on the Super, but he's going to take a dive down Mezar with the Earth Shatter to disable him. He gives his life for it, though. 5v5 here on the point, and unfortunately, AZK used Attack Visor, only ended up with 1 kill to show for it. And while this is going on, look at Hammer just playing the Brawl game right now, deep diving onto a point. But as they do that, Rafa, with basically no HP left, is able to turn it back a little bit. Still very even between the two. Diva Explosion goes off from Train, and it's still any team's fight. 2v3 right now on the point, and AZK in a world of hurt, getting zoned out here by this Diva, runs into another member of Hammers, and Hammers now with this graviton could end this right here and right now, Jason.
Well, Metro gets a good charge actually on the Bull, and ends up picking up the kill as well, but the problem is there's just too many people. Metro gets a boop off, but he gets booped off himself as well as Train just trying to hammer from the top side. And that's going to be first point of Nepal going over to Hammer Esports. This team, where the hell did they come from?
It is very scary, and I will go, I know you talked about it in the Last in House segment, but I'm going to pile on and say that going into this, I probably had Hammer as the number 8 team. They were one of the last teams invited. We had several other favorites that could not attend, but Hammer Esports definitely earning their way to a guaranteed invite next month with what has been some truly impressive play, and it's been great to watch.
I'm curious, Slasher, your thoughts on the lack of a Zarya addition on that first point out of Liquid and how aggressive it allowed Super, and not to mention Jake play.
Slasher might have left us or might be muted, but we'll come back to it later. Maybe it's just coffee time, Jason. You never know.
Maybe.
But we are going to be getting in here to this next part of Nepal. And AZK now is going to be on the Roadhog, no longer on the 76, going to be looking more tank heavy here from Liquid as they try and deal with what has been pretty phenomenal coordination off the side of Hammers. And Mezar saying, look, you want to be super deep in Super? I'm going to go deep in. And he gives AZK the opportunity for a hook on the D.Va, throws the D.Va back. Raf, lucky to get out. No, not Rafa, sorry, but Train, lucky to get out there in a hurry. And Liquid right now, despite an early engage, Hammers is actually regrouped, re-healed, and they're starting to win the poke war, Jason.
And now Mezar, he's starting to actually be really aggressive here with his charges in. The problem is he charges a little bit too far where his teammates are, and Super picks himself up a double. And this bad, he already has his first shot up ready to go.
You get the Earthshower because he's been going in deep, has been getting that support, drops Rafa right down after he gets a nano boost, and Rafa might not die here just yet, but he's certainly not going to get anything off that nano boost, and he's going to be lucky to leave with his life as Hammer Esports converts and gets the first capture here once more. And I gotta say, that's a big disappointment for Liquid there, Jason, because it's kind of rare in Overwatch to see a team not convert on that good of an initiation.
Yeah, like they got a fire grade onto I think 4 people instead of Hammer, but Hammer responded really well. I think Avast fed them up, got them off the point so they could regroup, heal up, while somehow their tanks didn't die in the front line.
Well, here we go. Hammer Esports getting into the ball once more, just diving into Liquid. Super swing the hammer, true to his team's namesake. Gets what he's looking for, doesn't even have to drop the Earth Shatter. And so, Liquid just getting dispatched here.
Did Mezar miss his Earth Shatter? I think he might have missed it, or maybe hit one person max, and then Super, back-to-back fights, has Earth Shatter up and ready to go again. Like, this should just not happen. Super gets so much room for free.
Well, he was on the flank. Liquid turned just in time, but he's still not afraid. Graviton Surge comes in. He's diving in, looking for an opportunity to share. Might even need to. Will get slept in the back, and Liquid not waking up despite all the carnage going around here. Opportunity here for Liquid as Super's out of the fight, but he's back in, holding on to the Earth Shatter. This could be huge. Drops the hammer. Down goes Liquid, and Super making a mess of it again, but he doesn't get as much as you might think, despite the quality of that Earth Shatter. Liquid still fighting it back. Rafa doing his best to pull it in, but in the end, the hammer of Super too strong, and Hammer Esports one fight away, Jason, from taking this round.
I don't want to be too negative, but how do you Graviton Surge and then self-destruct onto nothing? Like, there was a Graviton that hit nothing, and a self-destruct on top of it which hit nothing. Like, that's just, those are mistakes that you just can't really have happen, especially when you're being pressured by a team that you, ideally, if you're looking at it, should be able to beat, but the last attack here for the side is
Get in there.
Well, here we go. The nano boost will be going on the Rafa. Rafa just looking to take D.Va out of the fight immediately. 5v5 right now. Both teams losing on us immediately. Good target selection coming out from both sides. But again, look at Super. Super is able to find the right position to take down 2. Drops the hammer right after. And Hammer Esports off of the hammer of Super. Well on their way to taking this round.
Oh, he's finally going to go down, though, and Train. And now Jake just trying to hold on to him with 3 people as Avast is going to be able to come in, but Rob back from Choke is actually able to heal them up on the point, and I think that's going to be it. They're finally going to get a trace onto the point. Mezar's finally going to be able to rejoin in. He's going to hit an Earth Shatter. Well, no, he's not. He's going to miss it.
That Earth Shatter was nothing. We were just here to watch our boy Mezar ult the ground. Unfortunately, Nepal was built pretty sturdy. The ground survives. Mezar does not, and that is dominant coming out of Hammer Esports.
Okay, I'm looking at this, and Slash, you might be able to give your thoughts, but playing the standard comp against them is just not working. I feel like Super's getting too much room to move, Rob isn't being pressured enough, and Jake is just getting too much freedom as well. Like, you need something to disrupt this back line, I feel like.
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, AZK is the X Factor. AZK is the star player, somewhat beyond the big players of the hang. And Rafa, when they, and of course, as their TF2, when they built this team as to be the man to kill everything. Now, maybe everyone thought he was, you know, the carry for Counter-Strike, but he really wasn't when he played CS. He was the player that was very consistent, but wouldn't necessarily carry the team. He's going to have that on Tracer against this quad tank heavy setup.
Well, Slasher, you are breaking up, so I'm going to finish the thought and say fully agree when it comes to AZK. When Liquid does well, he does have big games. He's been relatively quiet here thus far. Now on the Tracer, going to be looking for his opportunity, going to backline, and Jake finds Mezar immediately. Mezar has to overextend, gets taken out by the combination of Mei and Super's hammer, and AZK going to have to go for heroics as he's already down 2 teammates early on in this fight. Not a good start here for Liquid as Hammers comes out strong once more.
And Super's back up to 70% on his ultimate yet again. Probably gonna have it by the end of this actual fight. About 80% close enough for this man. That's just insane. Like, you should not be able to have that much freedom. He has to shatter from the fight. Like this should just not happen in a competitive game. You should never have a Reinhardt be this free. I feel like a Roadhog was fine out of the side Team Liquid, but instead of looking for picks on the supports and onto like maybe some of their DPS or like our split tanks, hook Super. Like you know he's gonna charge in, right? You hook him, you save Mezar, and then he can counter charge and then instantly burst this man down. But somehow he's just getting so much freedom.
He's getting a lot of freedom, he's getting a lot of support, and it's a catch-22 for Liquid where if you fully engage on him, it works well, you get rid of the problem. If you fully engage and something goes badly, then that's gonna be it. And Jake one-shots AZK there, 1 icicle to the head is all it takes, 65 now for Hammers, and what are we looking at? We're just looking at Super, go forward, swing the hammer. I'm getting vibes of the old TF2 Pyro that played with the steering wheel right now, but it's really just truly good positioning from Super and great support that's enabling this pure hammer-fueled carnage.
Now the problem you run into, right, is if you do get aggressive and you try to jump their back line, you have Jake there to separate you with the Mei wall. Then you have the Blizzard as well, which is going to completely shut you down, and considering Hammer now at 60% built up, you don't have a lot of time to work with here. So we're going to need to see a big bang out of Raph and AZK here. They have to combo perfectly. They don't have a Steinberg to contend with, so they do have a good chance here, but if Train can mitigate this as a defense matrix, then they're screwed. I think they have to hit this combo, and they have to hit it now.
They really do. Big Bang is what they need, and it's still going to be difficult with Blizzard on deck, but Rafa, he is known for great initiations. Let's see if he can dig deep here. There's a Graviton coming out. AZK, do you have the special delivery? Pulse Bomb is in, and it's a 3K for AZK. Rafa threads the needle and gives Liquid a desperately needed burst of life.
Okay, so now they want to fight. Now they get some momentum going. Not before Jake does take down Mitchell, though. So they have something going for them, but now they don't have those ultimates. They have to depend on Mezar to hit a big Earth Shatter, and not to mention Minstrel when he does get back here to get them alive with Sound Bear. The problem is, you have Super than Earth Shatter. You have both the Graviton Surge. You can't stay grouped together to really make everything super effective. It's going to be such a tough hold, and I mean, Team Liquid, they can do it. I know they can. But putting all together the pieces that they've been struggling to be able to do so far in 2 out of 3 points is going to be tough.
It is going to be tough. Next fight here is underway. Team Liquid going to have to open with the Sound Bear, but they get caught by the Graviton. It's a full group hug, and Super brings the pain with the hammer, swings it in on the follow through. That's going to be 4 kills here for Hammers. Team Liquid ejected from this point with authority. And now, Jason, the question is, can they even touch this point in time?
Well, they do have Tracer, but he's not alive, so I would say they're most likely not going to have a chance. Your Mezar's going to have charge, and that's going to do it. I mean, that last fight, the Graviton Surge was amazing. The Earth Shatter was really good, but it's all on Rob with the Biotic Grenade hitting every single person inside that Graviton Surge. Like, where's your defense matrix? Where's your shield? You have to stop that Biotic Grenade, which is the only thing that can really shut you down inside the Graviton Surge like that. And that just wasn't there.
No, not at all. And meanwhile, I know this is surprising, but the play of the game includes Super walking forward, swinging the hammer. Please stop running into this. How can one man's positioning be doing this much damage? I don't know, but Slasher, I guess I remember a while back where you were telling me Super Pluke is a great Reinhardt, one of the best in the game, and that still might be true. But apparently, when you take the Pluke off the name and you just be Super, you get an even better result.
I mean, Super's a 16-year-old kid, and he's really good. And as we've seen, young kids are the future of esports and being the best players in the world at like 16 or 17. And he's only going to get a lot better, you know, in the next year. You know what? I was just confirming earlier, is why I wasn't around after the first round. This is technically a tryout for Enigma instead of ID. This is not a ID is like not here, Enigma is filling in type of thing. So, you know, indicative to see how they do with Enigma instead of ID.
So
well, it is interesting because you do have 2 clashing results right now for Liquid, where they confidently dealt with Splice in a pretty decisive fashion from what I understand. And now they're getting hammered by Hammers, who have really come out of nowhere. I mean, they were Bird Noises for a while back. They were up on the grind, but they didn't have anything too crazy to their name. And yet they come out here in the Alienware Monthly Melee, and they shock us by what they did just a series ago. And now they're here against Team Liquid, shocking us again. I mean, first LG, now Team Liquid. We thought going into this that the final matchup of Liquid versus Luminosity was going to be the key marquee match of Group B. And yet Hammer Esports could have their way with not one, but both of them before we even get to that matchup.
I mean, they could be the first out of the group. Like, they could 3-0 this group technically right now if they beat Liquid here.
Absolutely.
I wonder though, if you're saying Enigma's trying out, like I always wonder, like, in the intricacies of like a team, right, of how it works. Like, if you're the Trout coming into a team, do you literally sit there and just like listen to everything they say, or do you try to make your voice known? Because I feel like Liquid, they have the talent, they have the raw talent there, but do they have the person to control it, like to be the mastermind to make this talent excel?
I mean, Enigma was, you know, a lot of part of that mastermind success of the early on team, his team not Enigma early on in the Overwatch beta, and then you have to think of it, how much of the success or not success of NRG was attributed to him, and that him playing for Liquid is another opportunity to him to try to win.
Just from talking to people that have been on NRG, people look at NRG and they immediately think, oh, Seagull is the leader, he's calling the shots. That is not the case at all. In terms of NRG, Enigma had a very big role in terms of calling shots and getting everyone on the same page. So, for better or for worse, now he's here with Liquid, and it does make interesting thoughts as to what the NRG situation could be, either better or worse as they do their rebuild. But what it comes down to is that Enigma is a leadership type, and it's always difficult when you're dealing with a new team. You might not even really recognize other people's voices, but I would expect Enigma, through the course of this tryout, which probably will extend beyond just the monthly melee, to try and take on more of a leadership role and help where he can, because that's just the type of guy he is. He's a very enterprising guy. He runs websites on the side. I believe he also runs over.gg, so
yes,
yeah, Enigma, he's a good dude.
He also really knows how to pick out good street food in China. He hooked me and Mitch up when we were there for APAC, some really good spicy noodles and spicy rice. But that doesn't matter in this game because we're seeing the attack come in now at a Liquid.
All right, so Liquid gonna be coming in here, and Jason, they're gonna be running the Sombra early on, and tell us what a Sombra likes to do here in the beginning.
Well, ideally you hack a Mega, which he's actually been able to do on the backside. You build up some more percent, you use him and Transcendence together to rush straight to the enemy team, hack them, pop Transcendence, because then you can't really die in that situation. Well, that's how it's supposed to work, right? But it doesn't work if you get rushed down by Hammer like this.
I mean, it's supposed to work, but Liquid also signed their own death warrant there. You're supposed to give the Sombra time before you commit, so if the other team goes in on you, you can back off and get good positioning. Instead, Team Liquid just dove right in there way before Rafa even had EMP out, and now, as a consequence, the defense here is going to have way more in terms of ultimate, so not quite what you're looking for in the situation, though Rafa does almost have that EMP.
To be fair, like, it's not like 100% guaranteed one fight when you do hit the EMP. You kind of need the Transcendence to follow up, so none of you can really die within the EMP. Because of the amount of damage they can still put out on you. I mean, we've seen Super just swing away constantly, and that's a lot of damage coming your way. So you need the Transcendence, which the Hang's about 60% on, but there's the MP coming through. It doesn't really kick on that many people, though, but it seems like it's been enough that they pick up 2.
It's absolutely been enough. 2 quick kills come out of Team Liquid as a result of that. Momentum's still completely in their favor. D.Va self-destruct, though, gonna create some space. Train picks up 2, and Super is still alive, Jason. The raid boss up and in this fight still, in Liquid, after what was a nice opening, a good EMP, and 2 kills to fall through. They're not able to get the key targets on Hammers, and Hammers ejects Liquid from this point and holds strong.
And now Super got his Earth Share ready to go. They have the whole hog. Rafa, he's at 40% on his EMP yet again, but he says, all right, I'm done with this. It's been 2 minutes. I'm not going to try to go for this yet again here that they do have transit this time. They have a lot of damage. If you hook anyone, even if it's Super and you discord him, he's going to die for this most likely. Now you have an opportunity when he charges aggressive like that, but Rafa's already been focused down.
Indeed, and Rafa's already down. Super doesn't even have to drop the Earth Share yet. Certainly looking for his opportunity, but when you're cleaning people up, why not just wait for Team Liquid to come back in? And he's just, oh my goodness, walks up to Mezar, and Mezar can't get away. This is ridiculous, as Hammers, perhaps going a little bit too deep here, they need to back out.
Yeah, okay, I looked at they make some too as they do finally get away here, but look at Super off to the other side. He's waiting for his Earth Shatter. And you know what? If you have a very clean fight, you're going to help Volga his Graviton, which will be up anyways. You help Jake build a small percent, not to mention Trade. You have enough support ultimates to get Super out of that position if he does get caught out, so he should be fine. But it looks like they haven't been able to spot him out, but he gets the charge!
Oh.
Rafa, you're still second last,
Rafa! Rafa sent to the back line, setting up Hammer beautifully, already down, and Super again just walks into them, swings his hammer, picks up another, has nano boost. Oh no, Roadhog, I don't know if you wanted to bring him that close. Mistakes might have been made, and barely escapes with his life. And I feel like at this point you could almost just write a webcomic about Super always creeping in corners, just, jittering with his hammer in hand, waiting to drop it.
I don't think he knows what his right click does, to be honest. The way he's been playing Reinhardt. But to be fair, Team Liquid did win out on the trade battle. They committed nothing, and they forced out, 3 ultimates out on the side of Hammer Esports. But again, Super, you look for an Earth Shadow this man, Measure, you have to block this. We've always talked about him being one of the best Reinhardts in North America. You have to prove it to us now, man.
Absolutely. Well, you do the self-destruct coming in here early on, and Enigma will find Jake. Super, though, the raid boss still in this. Gonna get hammered down by Mezar, though. Mezar knocking down at least 2 with that Earth Shatter. Gets Super down, and that is very big here for Liquid as they push this back in. Mezar diving in deep himself. Not getting quite the support that Super is on. That might be a difference between the two teams. Jason, you take a look at what they're running right now. It might just be the fact that they're running a Zen, but does it feel like Mezar isn't getting the support that Super is?
I mean, I'll get back to the point in a second, because it looks like we do see Hammer still trying to commit to this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're coming back in, and this should have been Liquid's point, but they let their foot off the gas. Jake comes in, picks down 2, and what should have been a cap from Liquid is instead a heroic defense coming back in from Hammers. For how strong Liquid was to start that fight, Jason, that just seems insane.
It was just smart by Hammer, and if you guys play competitive, don't be that a-hole that does this. Don't just run in and die on the point when you only lost like 2 or 3 people, because they just they backed away, they regrouped, they re-engaged, and they won the fight back, and they actually captured the point. But on Mezar, like talking about him not getting support, I just feel like, well, Super made a mistake there because he charged Mezar and he saw the Earthshatter coming, but he charged him in time to stop the Earthshatter from happening, but they didn't bother to put his shield back up after the charge because he expected maybe Mezar to attack him, so the Earthshatter went off, which almost lost him the point. But at the same kind of token is that out of Nepal, Mezar's just been toyed with, I feel like, out of Hammer, because they've used Maywalls to split him off, they've constantly been charging him, they've been able to burst him down before there's been any support, and I don't think that's necessarily at fault on Mezar. I think that was just at fault to the composition that we saw them using before out of Liquid. But they finally have Rapid playing Zarya, so ideally Mezar shouldn't be bursted down in this situation, or shouldn't be toyed with as easily.
I definitely agree, and we've seen Mezar have monster games before. I think back to many recent tournaments where he has gone off and arguably been the most important person on Team Liquid at points. And yet, this has not been the best showing, but I just feel like you look at the external factors, I think you're right in that composition definitely isn't helping him here. I think that there's probably something to be said for the support not really babysitting in the way that Super's getting babysat, because don't forget too, when you have those Reinhardt v Reinhardt battles, eventually it come down to one of the 2 Reinhardts trying to shield each other, trying to hammer each other, and if Super is getting far more support, that's putting Mezar in a nearly no-win position.
If Liquid had been practicing this with Rafa on Sombra, it really did not look like it.
And I feel like with Sombra they actually could have been able to win that first point, if that's what you're saying.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan. They put to hang on Zen with triple tank still, and they don't really execute Sombra that well, and now it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, and when they're on the attack too, they used Lucio Zen, didn't they? They didn't actually have Ana in that one, which means if you're Mezar, you're not going to get burst healed as easily as you really need to in those situations, especially when you do get charged or something like that. But Hammer, they're running straight in. There's just no respect here. They're just walking straight to the point.
All Liquid right now. We have Ana back in the cafe. Everyone else on the ground. And for Liquid, this is going to have to be a long, strong hold, and easier said than done. AZK, though, does get the first pick on D.Va, going to be forcing Hammers back a bit. Let me just ask this. Do you agree with no Symmetra in a situation where you have to do a full hold? I feel like you almost want to take the Symmetra gamble here, just to increase your odds of the full hold, even if it means you might lose the first push.
I think there's 2 ways to look at it. A, you can run the Symmetra and have that teleporter unless you get hooked in, which you did see Hammer do just in the previous match. Or you go with something a little more comfortable with double healer where Minstrel maybe can get focused down a little bit too easy. But you already see Jake take out the Hang, so they've already lost that one support nonetheless here, and you can see they're just focusing down onto Jake, trying to force him off the point, but they're leaving their backlines exposed.
Indeed, and AZK at least able to keep things in here. As you saw Hammer come in, he was able to land a very important hook. Doesn't get the D.Va towards the very end, but Liquid at least is holding strong here. They've burned about a minute 15 off the clock. They are still going to hold for a while, and I think the problem I see coming up for him is just all the ultimates that will be online soon for Hammers.
Yeah, and to go back to the whole Symmetra thing, it's just I feel like it's a little bit too gimmicky in terms of if you lose that Symmetra early and you don't get teleporter, you can say goodbye. But even if you do get the teleporter down, if the team's smart, they're gonna kill it right away before the fight begins or in the middle of the fight.
Well, next fight here is underway. Super drops the hammer while swinging the hammer, picks up 1 kill in Zarya's face, gonna pick up another, and this initiation, lightning fast from Hammers and Team Liquid, might be seeing the series go away right now as they are in a very rough position indeed. Super getting on top of the Diva before it's all said and done, and this is gonna be Hammer Esports capturing the point, dispatching Team Liquid, and going 2-0 to start out Group B. My goodness, Jason, this has been a ride.
I don't even know what to say. Like, Slasher, that I feel like they pulled, because Jake went back towards the Mega around the back of the point, you saw them like chase him away, right, in a conga line. But then they were out of position where the rest of the team, I think Train in particular on the D, was able to focus down onto Minstrel and focus down onto like the back line.
Yeah, I mean, that's the risk that you take when you run Zen Ana, or even the discussion you mentioned earlier, Ana Symmetra. You don't have the Lucio, you don't have the movement, which gives you the positioning that you want, and if you get stuck in Cafe like that, you know, you're pretty much all going to die, which is exactly what happened. You know, either of those options, I think that's what they need to do. Either you do Ana Symmetra, which is probably a little bit more safe, and a little bit more potential. Maybe even if you all die, you put Teleporter down, you somehow make a miraculous comeback. But at least Zen Ana will give you the other best option to try to do it. But really, Hammers has looked pretty convincing. 2-0 against Luminosity, 2-0 against Liquid. And even though that I think Liquid and Luminosity are still, I don't even know if I consider maybe the very low end of Tier 1 North American teams. This is a big win. Big wins for Hammers.
And I just want to say, in terms of sportsmanship, Mezar showing a little bit of love in the Pro Talk channel where a lot of the players hang out. He just went in there and he posted his thoughts of the game, which is simply posting the hammer emoji. So Mezar, a good sport about things, and Team Liquid, they're a good squad, but Hammers coming out being super impressive here today. Now, we are going to throw to a quick break here as we get into our last game of this night, going to be Team Liquid versus Luminosity, both teams who lost to Hammers. But any final thoughts, guys? And by the way, Jason, thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Actually, it's been a blast. It's like 4 in the morning, but I can honestly keep going for probably another 6 hours if we needed to, at least. But yeah, Liquid, honestly, up against LG, it's like kind of a old clash of the NA Titans, right? But with seeing Hammer kind of just dismantle them nail by nail there, I don't know. Like, I actually don't know who's going to win this matchup. I don't know who actually looked better between LG and Liquid when it came to these sets.
I mean, it's been pretty close. I mean, these two teams, Liquid got knocked out by Luminosity out of the playoffs in the NG tournament, and they're 0-3 in their last 3 games against each other. So if any of the team would be looking for, I think, a comeback, it would be Liquid here, and they both need it right now, don't you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, like, it just sounds really bad, right, to talk this way, but you kind of have to. Like, if you're Team Liquid or you're Luminosity, you're seen as a giant organization across many other games, right? And even within Overwatch, you've been there since the beginning, but to have, like, a new and upcomer kind of dismantle you like that, it kind of takes a blow to the morale of the team and to your confidence, but yeah, definitely both. I think Luminosity more than Liquid needs this win. I mean, if you're Enigma, you want this win really bad so you can get on the team. But if you're Luminosity going into, you know, NGE just in like a week's time, you need a nice uptick in your wins before you go for a major event.
All right, guys, with that as a final note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the final game of the night will be underway. Team Liquid versus Luminosity should be a good one. Stay tuned.